What's up, guys? Mike Garden Games here. Just had regionals today. Actually did really well. Went 6-3 with a Dino deck. You've seen me profile a couple of tutorial combos with it. So let me go ahead and explain a couple of decks I played with. I played against some Mech Knight Invokes. I played against some BAs. Came against won a couple of Trick Stars. Also, I think I did one Sky Striker deck, and a Mech Knight. Yeah, it was another Mech Knight Invoke. And and Gokis, Dark Gokis. I actually did really well against Dark Gokis. They really had a hard time going against me. And this is the deck profile. I didn't want to do deck profile until after I see how the deck performed in competitive standpoints, like especially regionals. And 6-3 is not bad. My 3 losses were the time. Was not to them outplaying me. It was the time. Every single one on the third match, and they got it. So I went 2-3 on my 3 matches, and time got me. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it out and check out this deck profile and see what you guys like. If you have any ideas or anything that might push it up to 8-1, 7-2 type thing to get that area, to get that better rank, and then hey, leave comments below. All right, so let me go ahead and start with these one-offs that I got here. The first one is going to be Giant Rex. Everybody knows what Giant Rex does, and this card came in clutch against Trick Stars, even a couple of the what do you call the BAs and the invokes. They had a hard time dealing with him because he was just getting so big. I had him up to 3,400 a couple times, and he was just too much. And my first match, Giant Rex just won it. But I'll show you some of the cards that were clutch in the game. I run 1 Koalas over Tex. He was good at 1. I was running 2 for a while. I didn't miss it. I think he only got called by the 100 one time. Most of the time it was good. I had no problems with this card at all. I even hard summoned it one time, and it did it did the job. Dragalio, good, great. I mean, it does what it does. It's nothing big to get the standpoints of the deck itself, so it did good. Driver, I ran 1 driver. I'm gonna tell you something. I just added this in to this deck. The Gamma and the side frames at the last minute, and was the best decision to do, and I'll show you why. Miscellaneous Saurus, and now here we're gonna go into 2-0s. All right, so move these here. So double draw and lock. Draw and lock is draw and lock. Did good. Ash Blossom, clutch all day. Never bad in the deck. 3 Gammas. Clutch. And I'll show you some of the combos I did with this thing. This thing was running retarded. People were just like, this is freaking, I hate Gammas. Especially Gokis. They don't like Gammas. Baby Ceratosaurus. I run 2. Other than damage step, I think he only got called by the grave once or twice, maybe. But other than that, the damage that he really didn't have he didn't get hit. So Oviraptor, always good, always clutch. Broke card. Heart and soul of this deck, really, to be honest with you. And 3. Okay, if you guys ever played Teledad decks, and he's the go-to card in the deck. He's the Teledad of the Dinos. He's ridiculous. This card did so much damage to people. People hated him. He got cursed at a lot. Just because I went against a Pendulum deck. I just brought him out. Game. He Pendulum summoned the whole board. I activated the effect, popped all his cards when he Pendulum summoned face down, and it was over. Run 3 of these guys. 3. Just like if you ran Teledad deck, you ran 3. This one here, run 3. And then I run 3 Megalo Smashers. And like I said, it was a Dino deck. and it was a specific Dino deck. It was a specific Dino deck that no one really saw coming, because I ran 3 specific cards that caught people off guard. And I guess you guys can see the tutorial on this, but there's a new combo that I came up with the deck, and I'll show it to you today. It happened a lot with these 2. It's crazy good. It happened a few different times, and if it went off without any negations or anything, it was game. So, all right, for the spells, I ran one Foolish, Monster Reborn, 1 Dark Hole, 2 Called by the Graves, Clutch card, Terraformings, 3 Fossil Digs, and everybody knows what these cards do. Double Evolution Appeal. If you don't know what these do, this card do, it says you win if you don't stop it. Banish 1 dinosaur, 1 non-dinosaur monster from your hand or graveyard. And this right here, this part right here about this card that people did not realize today, especially, that I can banish cards from the hand. They try to stop it and like, oh, I'm gonna banish the. They would like, when I would play it, they would just DD Crow or one of the non-dinosaur type and say you can't play it. And I said no, I can target from the hand. So right there, bam. And then Lost World, 3 of them. That was beast. Deck was really good, really consistent. I only had one time that it bricked, just once, and it was just because I drew everything, and instead of drawing a Dino or something like that, I drew Ash Blossom. The Ash Blossom did buy me a turn, and I ended up going off. Clutch, okay? Like, I'm not a big person on the synchros, and I really wasn't hesitant about playing this, but the deck was doing so good against, doing so well against, Chambara was just putting work in. There was guys where they would brick out and they couldn't get over the dude, like, okay, go ahead and pass. Or if I Ash Blossom or Gamma and they couldn't bring out any monsters on their turn or on the board, I got the advantage on them. They couldn't stop it. Like, I just hit them for 42. So attack, and 42. And that was half the life points gone already. And then I had one guy who had played a Goki deck. He could not get anything out. In 2 turns, I beat him with a Chambara. I didn't even have to play anything else. He had no answers. He just kept defending. He bricked. I just hit, and he kept getting bigger. I was waiting for him to do something to him, and he didn't do anything to him. So he did good. Chambara came through a few different times, especially against Gokis. And Doka did work. Let me tell you something. Sorry if I'm covering the phone. Just grip my hand here. This card against Goki was beast. Dark Gokis. I just brought this out on my turn because they made me go first, and I went first. So I went first. I Dolka. Didn't do anything else. I could have, but I didn't. And they tried to bait me out and stop to use his effect, and they gave his effects. And I'd let them pop my Lost World. I didn't care. When you use this to negate Firewall, both times that I did it, they scooped. Went to next game, because once Firewall's gone, their loop goes bye-bye. They can't stop it. They can't do anything because they need Firewall to do all the combos off. And since Goblin's gone, they can't. So if you run a Dinos, don't go to the Firewall. Did it. It was consistent. I never played this. I ran it, and I'm going to take it out. I already know I'm going to substitute because I wasn't happy with it. I took another card out to add this, and I thought it was going to be a little bit better, and it wasn't. I played against BAs, and BAs were just freaking retarded this at Kissimmee Regionals. There was a few different ones. I only lost to the one, but I'll be taking this one out for Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller will run better in this deck, especially since I'm running the freaking Megalo Smasher, so it'd be even bigger, and I can just negate effects. So Abyss Dweller is going to go back in. I like it better. Lagia, always beast. It did everything clutch, did everything I needed to do. Tornado Dragon, same thing. Everything I needed to do, it did. And then my last one, which freaking won me a few different games, Gustav, man. This guy. For some people who don't run this, know what this card does. You rank with 2 level 10s, and once per turn you can detach from this card and inflict 2,000 damage to your opponent. Burn for 2k. Now, the reason this deck was like running differently than what most people run dinos, because the dino engine is always going to be there. It's going to go through. You're going to be able to get the dinos off fast and do OTK. But what people don't expect about the dinos, the one thing that they don't expect is the this. I rank like crazy with dinos, especially with this deck. Because of him, he allows me to rank a lot. And this one. People go into Omega. Don't get me wrong, Omega is beast. I didn't have one for the tournament today because I haven't had one in a while, and I really haven't been really wanting to get one or really worrying about getting one. But I rank with them. It was so good, and I'll show you why. First, run the Link Spider. Link Spider is beast. A lot of people forget about this. This is basically my goblin, because I run normal monsters, and I'll Link Spider. If I use a rabbit or if I use driver, I'll summon it and special summon another one from my hand. A normal monster. Works good. Another dino. Nightmare Phoenix. Nightmare Phoenix is it came through once or twice, but more for the 1900 than it did for the effect. I didn't come across it where I needed to use the effect. Nightmare Unicorn. I used it one time, but wasn't. It was just to send one card back. It was to use a send a Goki card back. So Deco Talker came clutch. I'll explain the story with this guy a little bit more, and then I ran Beast for Links for dinos, which people don't realize. It works really good. Summon Sorceress, so good. She is. There's a reason why the people want to get rid of her, especially in this deck. It ran so consistent. The link possibilities are insane with this, and I can use it with the rabbit. So it gives me 2 dinos, so I can meet the conditions it needs, or I can use it with the gammas, and the gammas, 2 psychics. So, and then of course the boar load. I don't have boar sword. I probably would have ran it if I did. I thought about running Gumblar, but it was okay. The deck ran good without it. 1 Nightmare Cerebus, 1 Firewall broke. I Firewall just like do 1 Firewall 8 on it a couple times. Under the Clock Taker. There was a couple times it did a good job with me too. I enjoyed it. So, I mean, it's a generic 2. It did what it needed to do. And then on the side deck, never played Altergeist. They were there, never played it. I think Pendulum's won, actually. I think Pendulum's got first place. Great card. Mind Control, beast. Raigeki, it's Raigeki. Didn't really use it too much. Twin Twister, same thing. I ran 1. Never really been in position to use it. Never had to, really. Veiler was good. I didn't have no permanence, but it is. Solemn Judgment, just wanted to throw at least 1 Solemn deck in there. Solemn card in there. Around 1 evenly matched. I only have 1. I'd rather run 1 than none. I ran it. It came through clutch. Same thing with Rivalry Warlords. I don't know where they're at. Dogaran came through. Hey Trunade came through, and then clutch cards. These cards did so good today. Share rides were running. I mean, not just me. Everybody was just running rampant with these things. They were so good. Enjoyed them. They did everything I needed to do. The deck was pretty consistent. Like I said, the only thing I would change in the deck that I can think of right now would be the Abyss Dweller. Add it back in the deck because BAs were running crazy in there. They were running crazy. And so the combos I was running with this was this. This, if you have this combo, I mean, and then I'm not gonna tell you, like, I drew it a lot, and it did what I needed to do, and I did exactly what I thought they were gonna do with it. Like, it happened every time. Sometimes this could have been, I would have Lost World already in hand, and I would have this, and the other card I would have. I mean, I can just go ahead and play it out like this is what my hand was. And it did everything I needed to do. This is like more of a typical hand that I was drawing. These three I drew more than once. Well, these two with this or this, the field card already in hand. Came. I got it so many times. So I would hold on to these. Like, I would gamma on their turn if I really felt threatened. But if I didn't feel threatened, because you gotta remember dinos are really big, they're really hard to deal with, and I didn't feel threatened on it, I was fine. So, but if I would hold it as much as I can for my turn, and if I had this or an extra one of these, you best believe I'm gonna bait you like crazy, and it worked every time, every time. So with Terraform, they would go for Ash Blossom or something like a Droll or something like that, whatever the case may be. This Gamma would come out, right? Gamma would come out, right? I would go ahead and get the Lost World. Driver would be on the board, right? A Lost World was already on the field, so this is already on the field for my turn. I would do this Rescue Rabbit. Now, sometimes I would go into Oviraptor if it was the better play. But if it was not the better play that I needed at that time, these would be the cards I would go for. Now, I did have a couple different situations where I would pop the Rescue Rabbit and these would come out. And I just so happened to have this in hand. And I would just search for this. And that was it. Now you're like, oh, why would you do that? You know, how are you going to go and get to your Dino engine with all this on the board? You're right. But I'm going to link like crazy, and you already see it's going to happen. So I would go on a link. I would link this off. Driver, put him in the graveyard. No, he's there. And then, like I said, this was an extra combo. So I would bring out Link Spider. Then Link Spider's effect was special. And I still have 4 cards on the board now. Then I would link these two. And then I would go into a Cerebus to pop the card on the back, the token that came out because of the Rescue Rabbit. Pop the token. The effect would go off. See, you guys already know where I'm going with this. Pop the baby. The baby then would go into Oviraptor. Oviraptor would go into this. Right? That's how it was going. This is exactly what it was doing. It was like, oh my gosh, everybody was like trying to figure out how to stop me on this. Right? So then I would pop the token to bring back either the baby, because I would bring out on this turn I had 5 monsters, and then I would go either do that or I would go into the another one of the Megalo Smashers, because there was one time where I went into all 3 of these right here. This was what, 1, 2, and 3, right? So he's 1 and 2 and 3, and then I would. So I went into these right here, like I went into, we'll just do these, like these 4, right? And I would go into Boar Load would be on the board, and then I would go into this thing. I would leave this here, actually, leave this. Special summon this, activate effect to pop this. Then I would go into a Giant Rex for this. And my combos were going off like crazy at this point. Like, I just kept going. At one point I had 2 Ultimate Conductor Tyrannos. I had the guys. I had a Summon Sorceress, Boar Load, and I had the other guys. I took his Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, and it was insane. Like, I don't know how many times that happened. It was crazy. But that was just a short. This is just a video of regionals today, and like I said, 6-3 deck. I don't know. Maybe it could have been because people weren't expecting this kind of build, and sometimes that does play a factor. But hey, if you like the deck profile, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll be doing another one. My friend's Blackwing deck that did really well, and he has all the new Blackwing cards. So stay tuned for that. Take it easy.